bringing in?
No, I understand the question here. I think it really does come down to a politics thing, right? You know, the fans typically adore and like to see the second generation wrestlers prosper. So I think with that comes you're born with a little bit of being over already. So I think what happens when the WWE wants to bring you in, they see that potential of you being over and all that, but they want you to work for it. They want you to go through, they want you to work harder than the guys that are just, they don't have a name, right? So that maybe they give you a fake name, maybe they do this, maybe they do that, maybe they haze you, maybe they, you know, Cody, they didn't give Cody what he wanted, because it was like, oh, he's Dusty's kid, you know, he's gonna have a job here for life, like, we can't just give him the whole world, but Cody wanted the whole world, right? Cody wanted to be the top guy, and he had the drive to do it, but the politics held him back, and his name may have held him back in the WWE. But on the Indies, he bets on himself. The fans, they love to see it. They love to see what he could do, and I took a page out of his book, and I decided, I talked to Lance Storm, my trainer, and they said, you know, tackle the Indies. See what you can do. See if you can get. See if you really can get over. See if what's out there is really worth it. And I think it's a really hot time for the Indies right now. So I bet on myself. I could have texted William Regal. I could have texted those guys and said, "Hey, bring me in for a tryout." And you know, they chuck me $40K a year and keep me trapped in the Performance Center for 5 years until finally I come out in NXT with or without my name, whatever it would be. But I think my father named me Brian for a reason. I don't think, you know, if he didn't want me to wrestle, he would have named me Derek or Bill or something, you know what I mean? So he named me Brian for a reason. I think he wanted me to have that, and he wanted me to keep it. So the second I went out there and had my first independent show, my first independent match, I now own that name, you know. It is legally my name, and they can't take it away from me. And if they want me to come and wrestle there, then they're going to have to let me wrestle as Brian Pillman Jr.
I look at what Cody's done and what the Bucks have done. I may not be the biggest fan of like all the in-ring stuff that the Bucks do, but man, do I have respect for what they've accomplished. I call it the democratization of wrestling, where back in the day, you had Bruiser Brody, you had Abdullah the Butcher, you had these guys that made their money in Japan, and they didn't have to take any bullcrap from the promoters in the United States. What these guys are doing is amazing to me because they're creating and they're developing themselves to a point where they don't have to beg anybody to go anywhere. There are WWE offers to them. Now you're in the driver's seat. Now you can call more of your shots. It's amazing. And they're great opportunities for guys like yourself to, I mean, the generation that you're in is, I would say, the best generation ever to make your mark on your own. I mean, you have social media, which the guys never had in the past. So you can put yourself out there as if you're on television every week. Are there negatives to being Brian Pillman Jr.?
Absolutely. I'm often pushed into roles that I'm not quite ready for. And, you know, a lot of people say that's good because you learn from those moments. I mean, you're never ready, right? You're never truly ready for something. So it's good in that aspect, but it's also bad because, you know, I might miss a beat or two because of green, but at the end of the day, I feel like I cover myself up with my charisma and my ability to, you know, I really look like I belong in the ring. So as new as I am, as inexperienced as I am, I never let anybody, you know, I never let them see me sweat. I never do. I'm always on, I'm always intense. So at the end of the day, a lot of things are shoved down my throat a little too soon. Maybe some opportunities, some main event, and, you know, I've been in a lot of main event matches that maybe some other guys on the card were waiting for. So there might be some heat there. You know, I might walk into the locker room and I've already got heat just because I'm booked. And but I think once people get to know me, once the wrestlers get to know me, they realize that I'm just another kid trying to make it. You know, I didn't look for a cheap shortcut. All I had was I was born with this name, I was born with this look. I look the part, I feel the part, and I love being a wrestler. So
Yeah, I mean, plus